goes on for like 3 days. It's a 3 hours total immersive workshop that we do, right? And I'm taking away a few tidbits from that session, from a detailed immersive workshop, and doing justice for this 90 minutes that we are going to be here today. So have I got the access? Very soon this is going to come up and we'll be able to start with the session. All right, so fantastic. Thank you everyone for joining. So as you see this topic, the BS of positive thinking, you see breakthrough whatever is holding you from living your dreams. All of us have dreams. There is somebody who's not muted, so I request everybody to be on mute, please. So all of us have dreams. All of us have something that we are inclined to. We are thinking about something, and there is something all of us want to achieve. And do we all feel this many a times that, yeah, I wanted to achieve this, I want to do this in life, but there is something that is holding me back. I put in all my efforts and I do everything that is possible, and I see that something is holding me back. All of us might have faced this, right? So in today's session, we will discover how do we break through whatever is holding us from living our dreams. Let me take. And while I do this, I just want to take a quick moment to share some numbers with you. I will come back to you and tell you or talk to you more about this in a little bit, right? But if you see these numbers, 2015, the ranking is at 117. 2016, it's at 118. 2017 is 122. 2018, 133. 2019 is 140. And 2020 is 144. Just keep these numbers in mind. We will come back and talk about why I put these numbers here. What is the purpose of having this slide here? Okay. So while I start the session, I express deep gratitude to Dr. Dick McHugh. Dr. Dick McHugh is a great personality from whom I learned wonderful techniques of neuro-linguistic programming. That was the time I learned that whatever our past has been, whatever our brain has been programmed to, there is a way for us to break through it and design a new life for ourselves. So we did a very intensive and extensive course with Dr. Dick McHugh, which spanned across a few months, and I'm grateful to him. So there are some moments here, some moments which are significant in my life, but I'm not going to dwell upon this here. We've already wasted a lot of time. I would like to go deep into the subject. Another person whom I need to owe gratitude to is Tony Robbins. I don't know how many of you have heard about Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is my guru. I love him and I follow him a lot. You will see me reiterating this in so many of my videos on YouTube. So Tony Robbins comes with a great energy, started almost with nothing at a 17-year-old, and today he's worked with, probably a billion people around the world. And he has a massive mission where he's currently working on a mission of supplying 500,000 meals every day to the needy. So this is a moment of truth. I love this picture. The reason I love this picture is whenever I feel that, what's happening to India, how is it that India can transform? Is there somebody who can take it to the next level? I look at an interpretation of this image as Tony Robbins pointing to me and saying, here is the guy, go to this guy and he will help you. So my belief. So why am I sharing all this? This is not about me today. This is not about my stories. Today's session is all about you. So every time when I'm giving any example, try and relate it to an aspect or an area of your life that you would like to have a transformation for, that you would like to have a breakthrough for. Imagine this, if you are going through, most of us middle-aged probably, and some of us who are almost, at whatever age of life you are in currently, a lot of people believe in, let me go the way life is taking me. It's okay. It's all about my life. It's all about what God has designed for me. And then you just walk through your life without doing something new. Imagine this. If you are in the river, just before Niagara Falls, you are in a river sitting on a boat and you are enjoying the river, you are flowing through the river on a boat and then coming very close to the Niagara Falls. And then you realize you're sitting on a boat which has no oars. You can't go left, right. What happens? You just take a fall from Niagara Falls. Life is going to be like that. Anything that we are today, whatever stage of life we are in today, is an outcome of certain decisions that we've made in the past. Yesterday, Dr. Ashwini also spoke about this. Whatever decisions that you have taken at some point of your life, last year, last month, last week, many years ago, today, whatever you are, is an outcome of those decisions that you've taken in your life. Similarly, in the case of this river, if you had taken better decisions while you were upstream with your boat, navigating to the right directions, you might not have had to have a fall via Niagara Falls, right? So that brings me to the topic of BS. Most cases, a lot of people, when I talk about BS, they say bullshit. That's the first reaction I get from a lot of people, especially when we do these seminars face to face. I have a good amount of interactions, and people, the moment I say BS, they come with this term of bullshit. So one way you can say, yes, it is the bullshit, the BS of positive thinking, because positive thinking alone is not going to help you. What we need to rethink, what we need to think about is our belief systems. I'd like to, give a small story here. A few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was driving towards on a hilly area. This is very close to Tumkur. One of the hilly areas I was driving. Me, my wife, my friend's family, his kids, and my son. We were all having that fun ride, and how it is to drive on a hilly area, right? You goes round and round and round. Once you bend right, once you turn left, once you turn right, once you turn left. So while I was doing this, I was intentionally making it a little wavery for the kids so they have fun. So my son asked, why is it that there are, whenever you're going through hilly areas, you see big rocks and big boulders and all of that, right? So he was like, why is all of this here? He said, why are the roads like this? So I said, the roads are like this because these boulders are here, these big rocks are here, and they've carved out a road for us. Oh, why do they have these rocks here? It needs to be removed. This was a conversation between the kids. And my son says, ha, nammappa vanda kaiyal etti bisak kodtare. He said this in Kannada. For the benefit of everybody here, I will say this in English. He said, my father will take it in one hand and throw it away. That was his belief system. And, some of it may be right, some of it may be wrong. But the reason I'm saying this story is, as kids, we don't have a boundary that we have set. Yesterday, Dr. Ashwin spoke about it. We don't have a boundary to what we can do. In fact, our potentials are unlimited. Our belief systems are shaped by it. Our belief systems are shaped by what we have seen and what we've thought. I will get a little deep into it. How many of you know this lady on the screen? How many of you recognize her? Okay. All right. I don't know how many of you recognize this lady on the screen. Her name is Arunima Sinha. I don't know if that triggers something. If somebody have heard about her, somebody might have listened to her stories or whatever. But for some people who may not have heard about her, I'm going to quickly tell you a little bit of what Arunima Sinha's story is. Arunima Sinha was a national volleyball player, and around the age of 22 or 23, or around that age, while she was going on a train, there was a group of thieves or dacoits who had got into the train, and just because she resisted to give away her chain, these people just took her and threw her out of the train. And when she was thrown out of the train, she fell on another track. And from that track, what happened is a train passed by, and her leg was on the track. So her leg was cut. And it was somewhere in the night. From night until morning, nobody came for help. There were about 42 trains that passed by on her leg that day. And Arunima Sinha, being a fighter, she could literally see that, there were rats that were coming and chewing her muscles, eating it up, gobbling it up. And, she was in so much pain with so many, with legs broken, fractured. There were about, she also had a spinal cord injury in terms of a fracture and so on. You can find her video on YouTube. I would urge, maybe you should just go and have a look at that video so you can directly hear her story from her own mouth. So she had this, and the only thing that she kept saying as she was taken to the hospital is, oh God, if you've kept me alive or something, there is something that I need to do. I need to create history. The doctors at that point of time were like, we don't have anesthesia. How do we operate on her? To which she said, I have been lying like this the whole night. 42 trains have passed by. You think I can't bear this pain? Please go ahead and operate. And they operated. One of her legs was amputated. I mean, of course, it was cut. So they had to put in a prosthetic leg, and another leg, she had a rod, which even today is there. Right. So she said, I need to create history. God, if you have saved me for something, it's with a purpose. And I will relive this life that you've given me, and I will create history. And at that point of time, when she was on the bed, she said to herself, I will climb Mount Everest. How many people think like that? She said, I will climb Mount Everest. And then she went to Bachendri Pal. Bachendri Pal said, you already have decided that you want to climb Mount Everest in this state. It's like you've already done it. Now it's just that you have to be on the top and announce it to the people. That's what she said. And she went ahead to climb Mount Everest. There is another story there. I will not bring that story here. You may please go to YouTube, watch her video. She's already done these summits for about the 7 tallest peaks in the world, right? So a wonderful lady, wonderful inspiration. So if we are all here in this realm where we all think, I know I deserve more. Whatever my condition of life currently is, I'm here to achieve more out of it. I'm here to get more out of it. If that is what is bothering you, if that is what a thought that passes through your mind at any point of time, we are all in the right place and we all deserve more. We will find out and discover the secret today of how do we achieve more. So I spoke about beliefs. Where do our beliefs come from? Tony Robbins explains this beautifully. There are broadly 5 elements through which our belief system is shaped. The first one is the environment. I spoke about it. From your childhood, the way you've been brought up, the way our parents, our relatives, our friends, all of this, the environment in which you've brought up to a large extent shapes your belief system. Now, I said, in my introductory video, I did mention that I will give you the secret of why the rich become more richer, why the poor continue to be poor, and so on and so forth, why successful people become more successful, which I will give towards the end of the session. So stay with me till there. And we were talking about the environment. The environment in which we are brought up, the environment in which we grow, shapes our belief system to a large extent. That is why you will see a difference between the society, the social strata that we talk about. People who are born and brought up in a very poor community, maybe a slum community or whatever, their belief system doesn't allow them to accept that one day they can become rich, one day they can become successful, one day they can break through all this and design a new life for themselves. On a whole, for a large people, this doesn't hold true. Maybe there is a fraction, a very small percentage of people who think different and they create a new destiny for themselves. So environment plays a very, very, very important role in designing our belief systems. And then next is the events. So a sequence of events has happened all through our life. Some of it we like, some of it we don't like, some of it are nice to have experiences or events, and some of those events we just want to forget them, right? So what is the meaning that you add to an event? When something good happens to your life, what is the meaning that you add to it? When something bad happens to your life, what is the meaning that you add to it? Depending on the meaning that you add to it, your belief system becomes strong and strong and strong and strong and strong. If something good happens to you and you say, wow, this is nice, and again it repeats, you say, this is wonderful, I can do more, I can do much, your belief system becomes strong and strong and strong. Whereas what a lot of majority of people are doing, a vast majority of people, anything that happens to them in life, oh God, why are you doing this to me? Why only me? This is the system, this is the belief system that a vast majority of people are putting into themselves. When anything bad happens, they say, oh, why me? Why not me? Your quality of life always depends on the questions that we ask ourselves. Instead of asking, why me? Okay, what is it that I can learn from this that can make me a better person? We will talk about those questions in a bit, right? And then the past results. I was talking about environment and events, and then we talk about past results. If you've done something in life which has given you joy, which has given you success, if you've even done it once in your life, you can repeat it whenever you want to, because our brain is so powerful. We all operate from a conscious level. We all talk about the conscious mind, whereas the core, the strength is in our subconscious, which has stored everything, which has stored so many programs in it. Your subconscious, our subconscious is so powerful that imagine that you're sitting in a very crowded place, and you're having a conversation with a friend, and very distant, somebody is actually looking at you and possibly talking about you. Maybe it's a function. You somehow feel, hey, this person is talking or looking at me, and you just turn. In fact, that person would be looking at you, right? All of us have had this experience, and that person, possibly if it's a good friend, looks at you. If he's talking at you, just turn away his eyes, right? I'm sure most of you will relate to this. So that is the power of a subconscious mind. It registers not just what we are seeing here, it registers everything that is happening around us. Every touch that you have, every conversation that you have, every word, every breathe of our, all of this is stored. It's a very vast topic, and I'm not going to go deep into it today. Maybe I'll have the opportunity to share this with you through my YouTube channel. Another vast majority of our belief system, the BS, is also from our future vision. What is it that we want to design? See, Tony calls this with a beautiful word. He says a compelling future. If you want to create a compelling future for yourself and say, this is what I want to, no compromises, the way you will think, the way you will act, everything is going to be different. Whereas the way a lot of people have been programmed is, this is not meant for middle class people. This is only for the rich. Oh, this is not meant for poor people like us. This is not meant for physically challenged people. Arunima Sinha, people don't get disability by physical. People get that disability when they are not able to think through their mind. It's a very powerful thing, right? So our future vision, if we are able to design and say, I will create a compelling future, and this is my purpose of life, the way we will all act and think and be will be totally different. And then comes knowledge. See, knowledge is something that we have accumulated over the years. Knowledge is something that has come to us over by experiences, by our elders sharing something with us, by reading books, by our education system, and by your own self-learning. Whatever mode, there is continuous acquisition of knowledge that we have. And that knowledge shapes our future or our belief system to a very large extent. So a quick recap on where do our beliefs come from: environment, events, past results, future vision, and knowledge. All right, a beautiful saying from my guru, where focus goes, energy flows. I will talk a little more about it. Where focus goes, energy flows. Whatever we think about, see, the power of focus is great, is immense. Focus, Tony says, is like a laser beam. Imagine there is an iron wall in front of you, and you have to cut that wall. There is no way you can exit. You have a laser gun with you, and you have an iron wall in front of you, which you need to cut. You can't hold the gun and keep doing this. The wall is never going to break. But if you know it's a laser beam, it has laser sharp focus. You focus on one area of the iron wall, just then cut through. You would have broken that wall. So focus, my friends, is like a laser beam. Whatever you want to do in life, whatever you want to achieve in life, however good you want to have a relationship, everything is focus. Imagine, if you want to do something in life and you want to take a chance, right? I've come across this with a lot of youngsters today who want to become the entrepreneurs. There is a set of entrepreneurs and there is a set of onepreneurs. Onepreneurs are those who want to become entrepreneurs, yeah? And many of them remain that for the rest of their lives, right? So when these entrepreneurs talk about being a onepreneur, from the onepreneur stage, they want to jump into being an entrepreneur. They say, I want to try, it's working for everybody. Why shouldn't it not work for me? I want to try. But do they do it with absolute conviction, absolute focus? I see that failing a lot. And that's what I talked about changing the mindset in my business mastery program. Getting a lot of small and medium business owners to change the mindset. I am nobody to tell a person how to do a business. They know how their business works the best. But how does it that you change your mindset to scale your business exponentially? That's what I talk about in business mastery. And that's to do more with the mindset of the entrepreneur. So we now know what is a belief system. And we are talking about excellence, right? This Tony calls are the 7 lies to success, lies, right? So let us see what is the first one. This also takes some inheritance from NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. The first statement is everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and it is to serve us, right? Look at this, take an incident in life. Take any incident of your life where at that point of time, you didn't know why this is happening to you. But after a few weeks or a few months or a few years, you said, good that this had happened to me in my past. This helped me reshape and redesign a lot of things. And I'm thankful for this event that happened on that day, right? And these could be good experiences. These could be experiences that you don't like so much, right? So I'm sure all of you are relating to this, right? As in when I'm asking you to think about it, go back and think about it. This session will add immense value, and I'm sure it's my duty to ensure that there is a breakthrough for all of you who have taken time to be a part of the session, right? So everything happens for a reason. Today you may not understand why this is happening with you. Today I may not know why are we doing this session, right? But then over a period of time, one day, if somebody, one of you in this group says, hey, that one session that EvXprts arranged that day, there were 2 speakers and there was something that was shared in that session, and that actually gave me a new thinking, a new direction. That is immense. That's I'll feel my purpose is served that day. So everything today that is happening, good, bad, positive, negative, whatever words people want to call it with, happens for a reason, right? And we need to believe that there is a reason why this has happened and there is a purpose. So what am I trying to learn from this, right? It serves us, definitely it serves us. And the second one, there is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback, right? See, this is a very negative terminology, I would say, from our childhood, starting from our grading system. Thankfully, it has been changed today, right? Otherwise, during our school days, it used to be 40 plus is D and then C, B, A. Below 40 is F, right? So whatever those grades were, somewhere started programming our mind saying, failure, failure, failure. Look at it. A lot of it has even come from the parenting tools. I do talk about a lot of this in my parenting sessions, which are closed group sessions that I do for parents. A toddler's parent has a problem. A teenager's parent has a problem. A parent who's already become a grandparent also has a problem with the child, right? This is because the way they are looking at and the way they are, the programming at some point of time has happened in the child's mind. I'm not saying it is because of the parent, it could be one of the reasons. But then the programming that has happened into the child's mind from childhood is impacting very badly. So the things like, hey, you can't do this, you don't do this, you cannot do this. If repeatedly, for a child, what is the truth? The truth is whatever the parents say and whatever the elders say. Vast majority is what the parents say. And if the parent is saying, hey, you can't do this, you should not do this, you cannot do this, the child's mind starts getting into a mode saying, oh, I should not do this, I cannot do this. And then it grows up. And as it grows up, it grows with that closed shell where it sees, oh, I cannot do this, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. And it just sinks down. It could just be one statement that a parent made at one point of time in their life to a small child, but that can have a long life impact. And that is where NLP helps. All our brains have a lot of programs which are pre-written, which are written in due course of time in our life. And some of it are so hardwired, it cannot be changed. And that's where NLP helps to a large extent, where it says, it's a program that is written. It's like a wire which is connecting two things. So what you do is just cut the wire, throw it, put a new wire. And that is how NLP helps. There are a lot of beautiful techniques. And between me and another partner of mine, we've served, I don't know, thousands, maybe over 10,000 people with our NLP techniques. From a business perspective, I've worked across 12 countries, over 120 businesses, helping them transform, right? And every time I emphasize, there is no such thing as failure, there is feedback. Whatever happens, take responsibility. This is the third lie, or a belief. You can take it in whatever way you want. It can be a belief for personal excellence, or as Tony calls, one of the lies that we have to believe in. Whatever happens, take responsibility. What happens generally to normal people when an event happens, when an undesirable event happens? There are three things that normally human beings do. First, blame an event. We've heard this, right? If that event had not happened in my life so many years ago, today my life would have been totally different. If that wouldn't have happened, today I would have had so many businesses. If that event would not have happened that day, today I would have been a multi-millionaire. If that event had not happened that day, if I had not failed my school, if I had not failed in my high school, today my life would have been totally different. It's all about perception. So there are three things that people generally do. And the first one is blame an event. And why people fall into blaming an event? Because an event is not going to come back to you and say, hey, it was not me, right? So comfortably, it's easy to pass your blame on an event. So one, blame the event. Two, blame another person. Do I have to even give examples for this, right? That person, he is a dash, 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 dash. She's a dash, 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 dash. I'm refraining because you're not doing a personal workshop, so my words are limited, Oh, this person is useless. This person is good for nothing. This person, he did this to me that day, and that is why I'm like this, right? There are so many inferences and interpretations that we make, which is without our knowledge shaping our belief system. Friends, this is very, very powerful. How our belief systems are being shaped. We need to give total, we need to be totally aware of how our belief systems are being shaped. So there, blame another person. Now it depends. The person may come back to you and say, hey, it is not me. Maybe you did this. And sometimes if you're not even in touch with that person, the person may not even come back to you. The third thing, which is very harmful, very damaging, is to blame yourself. We've seen these people, right? They think they are the, sorry to use the term, but they think they are the Mother Teresas of the world, to say, I will do all this, I will do all this, I will take all the pain, but I will ensure people are happy. Bullshit. You cannot make anybody happy until and unless you are happy yourself. So some people blame themselves. They say, oh, my life only is like this. My fate only is like this. I don't know what problem God has with me. I don't know why God is doing this to me. They do all this drama, melodrama, to convince themselves that they are good for nothing. So why am I saying this? Blame and responsibility are two different things. When somebody is taking a blame on themselves, they are not taking responsibility. They are finding an escape route. So the three things that people do for an event, undesired event: blame the event itself, blame another person, or blame themselves. So rather than doing that, for anything that happens in your life, step up and take responsibility. Be responsible and say, okay, I take responsibility for this. Now let me see what is it that I need to do to set this right. And the kind of answers that you will get at that point of time is totally different. The fourth belief for personal excellence: it's not necessary to understand everything to be able to use everything. We've seen some people, and I've seen a lot of them in my coaching practice. They say, oh, you are giving me this template. Okay, let me see this. Let me see this. Oh, give me a 2 days time. Let me understand this wholly, and then I will do this. I'll say, shut up. Just do what I'm asking you to do. It may sound very arrogant, very rude, but certain times I need to get into that and do it for them, because it's for the benefit of the person. It's not about me. So what is it? If I have to give you an example, we all do this, right? If somebody asks you to do something, we go into that mode of becoming scientists. We go into that mode of becoming, discoverers, and say, okay, let me understand this. Let me try this. And then I will do something. Why? Tell me, when you switch on the light glows. When you switch on the fan is on. Now, how many of us know or want to touch electricity and feel it? Oh, this is the electricity that is going on. When I press the button, the electricity is flowing and then it is switching on the light. No, many of us are, it's so unconscious, or we are not even aware that I just put it and walk out, right? Exactly the same way, you don't have to understand everything to be able to use everything. Sometimes it holds true for failure, especially when I talk about business owners and entrepreneurs. You can also relate this to a lot of things in your life. This is going to be very, very transforming. When I ask these business owners, what is it that you've done to change this? There are certain things that they don't like. And when I ask this question, what is it that you've done to change this? You don't like this? I understand. But you want to change this? What is it that you've done? Oh, I've tried everything possible on this earth. You've had friends saying this to you. I have tried everything possible on this earth, but it's not working. Everything? Yeah, I have tried a million things. A million, name them. Okay, may not be a million, but I've tried 1,000 things. 1,000 things, name them. Oh no, I've tried 100 things. 100 things, name them. Oh, a dozen things, maybe or may not be. In reality, in practicality, there is possibly a dozen things or 2 or 3 things that we have tried again and again and again and again and again and expecting a totally different result. Yes, that also leads to failure. And then they say, no matter what I do, how many other things I do, I've tried everything possible, but then there is failure. Again, my dear friends, that brings me to point number 2. There is nothing called failure. There is only feedback. What did you learn from it? And what is the new thing that you did to ensure that you get a different result? Now, the 5th point is people are your greatest resource. Tony says this beautifully. It's never the lack of resources, but the lack of resourcefulness that makes you weak or makes you feel weak. So we've seen people, right? We've seen a lot of people saying, you know, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this to do it, I don't have that to do it. We don't want to start with what we have. We can always start from wherever we are, because it is always the lack of resourcefulness. Resourcefulness means whatever you currently have, whatever capabilities you have, whatever behaviors you exhibit, that is what will take you to the next level of your life, right? So people, when I say people are your greatest resource, from a business perspective, from a relationship perspective, you look at it any way, people around you are your greatest resource. Let me give you an example. Let's say your best friend, or let's say your worst enemy. You even if you don't have, assume that you have one, okay? Your worst enemy brings you a cup of coffee or a tea with 2 spoons of honey in it. Would you like it? You may or may not drink it, but then, okay, there is no harm in it. And that's your worst enemy. And let's say your best friend, the best friend for whom you are ready to give your life away, brings you the same cup of coffee with 1 drop of cyanide, just 1 drop of cyanide. Would you take it? No. Why wouldn't you? It's your best friend. Come on, just because he's my friend, I can't go and die, right? Exactly. Why don't we apply this here? Just because somebody close to you came and fed you poison doesn't mean you have to take it. Sometimes we have to cut relationships. Sometimes you have to let go of your best friend to become successful in life, to grow up in life. Sometimes those emotional attachments probably might be holding you back. When I talk about a relationship, especially, you know, people come and say, oh, my husband is useless. My wife is useless. My husband used to be like that when we got married. You know, he used to bring me flowers. He used to be bringing chocolates. He used to come home early. So many things, you know, that becomes an endless story, depending on how many years they have been married for, right? The earlier stage of marriage, the list is probably small. The later stage of marriage, probably 3 or 4 or 5 sessions goes only in listening to what problems they want to talk about, right? Anyway, that's on the lighter side. But then there is only one success formula there to keep your relationship alive. If you treat the person at the end of a relationship like you treated the person at the beginning of a relationship, there is no end to that relationship. Yeah, makes sense? If you treat the person towards the end of a relationship like you treated the person in the beginning of a relationship, there is no end to the relationship. And this, a lot of people don't understand. Over a period of time, things are taken for granted, right? This is not a relationship session, so I'm not going to go deep into it. Always remember, people are your greatest resource, not knowledge. Somebody used to say, you know, for many years we've been told knowledge is power. No, applied knowledge is power. So whatever knowledge you have, if you can apply it, where is it that you can apply? Who are the people who will come to? You know, people are your greatest resource. Work is play. Is there anybody in this group who knows of somebody who's been super successful by doing something that they don't like to? Yeah, what? You know, when I heard this question, that was my reaction. What? What did you say? Yeah. Have you had somebody in your life who's become super successful by doing something that they don't like to? Sometimes they are pushed to do certain things, but they cannot create history by it. They cannot become super successful by doing it. So hence, your work that you're doing, you may be having your own business, you may be working somewhere, you may be studying, the sweetheart who's 9 years old on this call, you may be studying, everything you need to enjoy. Make it play. People have said this, right? If your work is like your play, you will never feel that you have to wait for weekends. The problem is people make statements and don't give it enough meat to justify your belief system. So the moment you make work your play, if you don't like this, change it to something else. If you don't like that, change it. If you don't like what comes next, change it until you define your destiny and you make your way to success. And the last one, there is no abiding success without commitment. Commitment is a key thing. Commitment is something that all of us have to stick to. We all have beautiful goals. There is a lot of people who say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to be super successful, I want to, create, I want to earn wealth, I want to accumulate massive wealth, I want to have a beautiful relationship, so on and so forth. Success means different things to different people. But then if you are into it without a commitment, it's not going to work. Somewhere during a conversation I mentioned, there are these entrepreneurs who want to become super successful by doing nothing. Not going to work. You need to have that commitment. You need to take action around it. Only when you have that commitment that this is something that you want, come hell or high water, I'm going to achieve this. If that commitment is there in you, there is nothing on this earth that can stop you. Absolutely nothing on this earth that can stop you. So these are the 7 beliefs for personal excellence. In case you would like to take a screenshot of this, take a picture, do whatever. I'm just leaving this for another couple of seconds. A very important formula, 7 beliefs for personal excellence. Okay. And while you keep note of this, I want you to leave you with a thought. Many times people say, this happened, that happened, this is why it is like this is why it is like this. Always remember, man is not a creature of circumstances. Circumstances are a creature of man. Man is not a creature of circumstances. Circumstances are a creature of man. So be that man, be that woman, be that person who will take responsibility and create that circumstance around you that you would like to. Are you all ready for the breakthrough now? We've been talking about breakthrough, right? So let us break through whatever is holding us. Let's do that. How do we do it now? This is something called a success cycle. The secret that I told you, I will be sharing towards the end of the session, which I said, I will share a massive secret about why the successful people are more successful, why the rich people become more rich and rich, and why the poor people continue, most cases, become poor, why the not so unsuccessful people continue to be in that state of mind. Wouldn't that be exciting? Whenever I do this in an open workshop with over 100, 150 people, I get a loud yes. So even if your microphones are off, just stand up and say yes. Come on, do that. Come on, do that. Say yes. This is something I'm going to love. Do that and take a seat. If you're not able to stand, do it wherever you're seated. Just in case you're not able to stand. Otherwise, I would urge, please stand up, say yes, I'm going to have this breakthrough, and grab your seat. Why we insist on this? People talk about belief systems. People say, see, whenever you take a decision, right? Decisions shape destiny. Decisions shape destiny. Now, and how from where is your decisions coming? Your decisions is coming from your belief systems. The life that you are living today, I said, is an outcome of a decision that you made. And that decision came from your belief systems. So whenever you take a decision, this is very, very important. Mark my words for this, a very important thing. Whenever you take a decision, no matter how big or small, doesn't matter. But whenever you take a decision, ensure that you take it in a powerful state. When I say a powerful state, keep your body language positive. Sometimes if it helps to be a superhero, superwoman, do it like this and then take a decision. Because what you're doing by this, we call it physiology. If you're not able to change your mental state, for example, somebody has lost their near or dear one, somebody is going through acute depression, somebody has had severe problems in life, and you go to that person and say, hey, you know what, think positive. The next thing I can possibly expect is a slap on my face, or somebody just give you a look and say, seriously, that's what I would possibly look for as a response. Because that is not going to work. At that point of time, the body is always going to be in that state, which is sad, which is depressed. Depressed, people use these words like, oh, I'm depressed. Come on, depression, people don't even know what depression means. It's somebody is sad, you can have more degrees of being sad, you can go deeper to being sad, you can be sadder, but not depressed. Don't use those words because you don't know what depression means. In case you have used this word at any point of time, please stop. You can be sad, you can't be depressed. For you to be depressed, a doctor has to certify that you are depressed. Don't stop using those words, because the moment you start using those words, it starts going into your brain and your body starts to function that way. Why am I saying this? I spoke about physiology. Whenever you take a decision, stand straight, keep that body language, keep that energy high and take a decision. A lot of people in life, they always want to take a right decision and they don't take a decision. They say, yeah, I want to take a right decision. So let me think. And they never take a decision, which is a decision that they have made that they will not take a decision. So whenever you take a decision, friends, ensure that you stand straight. You take a decision with that absolute energy, absolute belief in yourself that this is going to happen. Take that decision. Whether it works, doesn't work, absolutely fine. Don't keep thinking about it. At least you are moving forward. What people say, what the successful people say. Successful people say, even if you've moved, Tony says this beautifully. He says, progress equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. You may not be able to run, but even if you're walking, you are a lot better than all the people who are just standing beside you. Just do that. Don't wait for you to take, I have to start running at this pace, I have to start running at that pace. Don't worry about all that. Just take action and start moving. So that brings me to this secret, which I would love to reveal to all of you today. Are you all excited? Once again, say yes.
Yes, I'm so excited to listen to that secret.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So let's look at this. Secrets. Oh, the secret is not coming. What do we do? Okay. So here is the secret. This is called a belief and success cycle. Total credit to my guru, Tony Robbins. This is so beautiful. Think about it. For any area of your life, you will realize that this is so true, right? So all of us have what? All of us have a certain potential. We all agree? Participate in this. Even if I'm not able to hear you, I can hear you,
Yes.
Yes,
at
sir.
the level of
Yes, sir. We agree.
Yes. All of us have a certain potential. Now, basis the potential that I believe I have, I will take certain action. Yes, whether it is your work, whether it's a sport, whether it's your gym, whether it is the effort that you put in, whatever it could be, whether it is also climbing, going for a trek and climbing a hill here. I'm not climbing Mount Everest right now, but if I'm even looking at this, all of us believe that we have a certain potential. And basis that potential, we take action, correct? Now, basis that potential, I've taken action. Now that action will give me certain results, correct? Now, if the result is good, for example, let's say Ramnagar in Bangalore, around Bangalore, Ramnagar, I go for a trek on a hill. And let us say the best time for somebody to have climbed that hill is, let's say, 43 minutes. I'm just giving an example. I don't know what is that exact number, but let us say it is 43 minutes. Now, I've been working hard. I have a good and fit body. I'm physically fit and I'm absolutely filled with energy. So I want to say that I want to, break that 43 minutes. Can I bring it to 42 minutes? That would be my goal. So what will I do? Every day I will start becoming more fit. I'll exercise more. I will ensure that, I can possibly go faster without taking a break on the hill. So I practice. That is my action. And then comes a result. Let's say I go there and it took me 54 minutes. 43 is the highest and it took me 54 minutes. What am I going to do? My belief system, it all depends on how I'm shaping my belief system. If at some point of time I've believed, this is not for people like me, this is only for athletes, then my brain will give me the message and say, see, I told you can't do it. But if I give the same command to my brain and say, if he can do it in 43 minutes, even I can do it in 43 minutes. And then start practicing more and more and more. There will come a time I will hit it in 43 minutes. This holds true for any marathon, any 100-meter, any 400-meter race, any records that have been broken for a long time, for a very long time, people believed, if a 400-meter race or 100-meter race, until Usain Bolt broke those records, I don't know what is the time, maybe 9.52 or 10.2. For a long time, people thought it is 11 seconds that is the best, until unless Usain Bolt broke it and said it is not so much, it is 9.52, whatever that number is. And then people started believing in that number and said, okay, I can do this, I can do this. And people are practicing heavily for it. There will come a day when even that record gets broken, right? Many of us who've been watching cricket, until unless we saw that Sachin Tendulkar got a double ton, a 2-century, we thought, oh, getting 200 in one match is impossible. Then we had people break that and get 300. So that, there are possibly 2 or 3 or 4 people who got the triple centuries in one match. That was for somebody who believed in it. So coming back to this cycle, there is a certain potential. Now, what do the successful people do? The successful people are taking action. They're taking massive action. So obviously they get better results. Now, when they get better results, what is the message that their brain gets? Oh, I can do much of this. I can do this better. That is why a good successful entrepreneur who he or she continues to grow their business. Somebody who's already established a business, look at starting more businesses. They just look at, how do I expand this? How do I make this big? Friends, this may find very, very philosophical, but then the universe is there blessing you with lots of its divine energy. It's all about you, what you're asking from the universe. If you're asking for happiness, wealth, success, good things, that is what you're bound to get. You need to be patient. You need to work towards it. This takes me back to that story. I had given a preview of a video where, a guy was sitting on the bank of a river. Buddha came there. He said, I've been sitting here for 8 months with all my energy, all my positivity, all my enthusiasm. I've been meditating, I've been visualizing, but even today I've not been able to go there. Buddha smiled that day. He said, boss, you cannot go there by thinking. You need to take action. You need to go. Look at it. Imagine this. You are sitting, you have a garden, you have a beautiful garden, right? You have a beautiful garden with beautiful flowers. Imagine the best of your flowers in that garden. And then there are also weeds. If you think positive and say, oh, there are no weeds, there are no weeds, there are no weeds, the weeds are not going to disappear. The weeds are going to be there. You need to pluck those weeds and throw them away, that it doesn't grow again. I hope that makes sense. So in this cycle we are talking about, look at the adverse of it. Look at people who say, my life is like this only. No matter what I do, it will not work, right? So somebody like that attends a session and says, oh, I am all motivated. I will do this today. And they go. They have not increased their potential. They just want to give it a try. And when they just want to give it a try, what sort of action will they take? Very mediocre or possibly less. So when they take mediocre or less action, what is the result that comes? The result is going to drop down. And then what is it that they get in their mind? See, I told you, always remember, friends, our human brain, a couple of million-year-old brain, is designed for safety. This human brain will always see how to keep you safe. The moment it sees a threat, it will say, run away. It talks about the triple P, the pain pleasure principle. We are either driven so much by pain at some point of time that we say, enough of this shit that I've had in life, and we get super inspired to go ahead and change that. Or there is something which is so pleasurable that we are automatically inclined towards going towards it, right? So the triple P, which is a pain pleasure principle, what are you motivated with? Is pain driving you? Is pleasure driving you? I don't know. Look at what is driving you, irrespective of it, go towards what makes more appeal to you. At some point of time, I'll give you an example. I think this was 2013 or 14, I think 14, yeah. There was a time where I was literally not able to stand. I was not able to fold my fingers like this. I was not able to hold a pen. I was not able to stand. A lot of pain in my feet, in my joints. I went to maybe 2-3 doctors. Then a third doctor who diagnosed me with a lot of reports, he said, you have gouts. Okay, I had seen somebody with gouts and I'd literally seen how that person had struggled to even stand up from a chair. A very dear friend of mine, I've seen that. So the moment the doctor said this, I was like, oh shit. So this is what is going to happen to me if it's gouts. Oh my God, what do I do? There will be bubbles. There will be formations. uric acid formations. So the doctor gave me a big list of things that I should not eat. For 15 days, I took those medicines. The doctor said, these are medicines which you need to continue for your lifetime. 15 days, I took those medicines without a doubt. I said, okay, okay. I was seeing, is there a bubble coming? Is there something coming? My focus was going towards there because I was scared. And then something happened, something magical happened one day. I said, what nonsense? What am I trying to do with all this? Because the doctor said you have to take this for lifetime, I had bought medicines for 3 months. I had consumed it for 15 days. So there was 2.5 month medicines worth a good amount of money, which was still lying there. Just took it, threw it in the dustbin. So I'm not going to take these medicines. And believe me, that belief system started changing everything. It was that day until today, my friends, I have not faced any problem. I stand like this for 10 hours. We do a 30-hour workshop. I stand like this, walk around, run around. No problem at all. Because of the belief system. It's what you send to your brain. It's the communication that you do to yourself. The self-talk that we do is how it shapes everything for you. So if we look at this success cycle again, somebody who's taking very little action will get very poor results. And they go back, see, my brain told me that day I can't do this. I cannot do this. And what happens? Your beliefs are formed brick by brick by brick. So every time they don't get what they want and they encounter something like a failure like this, they believe and say, this is not for me. I can't do this. Whereas what does the successful people do? They just do the opposite. I have so much potential. What is it that I need to do to increase my potential? If it's from a knowledge, do I go seek a coach? Do I go learn from books? Do I take an online course? What is it that I can do to increase my potential? And once they increase the potential, they don't sit on it. They take action. Every time the action increases. And when the action increases, the results are bound to increase. And when the results are bound to increase, the belief system becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, which says, yes, I can do more of it. Yes, I can do more of this. Yes, I can do more of this. Another very important slide. You can start from wherever. I started from potential. You can even start from belief. You can say, okay, I have a belief system. Based on my belief system, I think I have a certain potential. Then I take certain action that gives me a certain result. It's a cycle. You can start from any point. Belief, potential, action, and results, or potential, action, results, and belief, whatever. Each one of it is interrelated. So I hope you've been enjoying this until now. I will take a couple of minutes to share, one of the beautiful things. Your beliefs become your thoughts. I told, right? Your beliefs is what is helping you take a decision, and your decisions is what's shaping your destiny. So your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits becomes your values, and your values become your destiny. So powerfully said by Mahatma Gandhi. All of us have certain role models whom we want to follow. Success leaves clues. Always remember this. Success leaves clues. If you have a role model who's already done something, who's already achieved something in life, model that person. Look at that person and say, what is it that this person has done to come to this level? Let me bring this beautiful thing, because there is a picture of Mahatma Gandhi here. There are people who believe Mahatma Gandhi was a great leader, and they say, what is it that Mahatma Gandhi did, to make him so big, so grateful? I say there is a problem with the question. The problem is not what did Mahatma Gandhi do. The question should be different. The question should be, what did Mohandas Karamchand do to make him a Mahatma? So you need to look at it. So whoever is your role model, pick up that person, see what is it that they have done. Don't invest too much time breaking your head about how do I do this? How do I do this? I say this all the time in my business mastery program. Any business is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. 80% psychology is, why do I need to do this? Why do I need to achieve this? Why do I need to do this business? Why do I need to have a great relationship? Why do I need to work? Why do I need to earn money? The why, the more powerful that why becomes. You have heard a lot of it, at least from the lockdown, from so many other people talking about this. The purpose, why am I doing this? As long as your purpose is strong, you will go ahead and do this. So it's 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. The 20% mechanics is, how do I do this? Now, that is where a lot of people get stuck. It's like a vicious circle. They just get stuck there because they try to keep figuring out, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? Which contributes to only 20% of the success. Whereas 80% of the success is your mindset, is your psychology. So work on your mindset, work on your psychology, meditation, whatever form you like. I'll keep that reserved to a different day altogether. Okay, so I did speak a bit about certain numbers when we started the session, right? Look at this slide. This is something very, very personal I'm sharing for the first time in public, right? Even this slide has never been exposed before. This slide that you're seeing is also coming on the first slide from Jeffrey Rakesh. Looks familiar? On one side, you see there is one guy fighting on the road from the car. He's holding somebody's collar. On the right side, you see a huge traffic jam because of people fighting on road. Then just below that, you see two bikers having a fight. And on the left side, you see somebody being beaten in again a road rage. So all these examples of road rages, we've seen this. We've seen a lot of these. And this looks familiar. We are not surprised when we see a road rage happening, right? Then look at some more statistics here. There is a very empathetic human being in all of us, and that comes out when we see these things, like the number of farmer suicides increased. So many people died in Mandya. So many farmers committed suicide. So many people are dying, so on and so forth. When there is a natural calamity that strikes, no matter which part of our country, people are always coming out with help, right? There was floods. These are a little old pictures. Karnataka floods last year and the Kerala floods where 167 people died. Uttarakhand floods, you can see how it was before and the devastation that happened after. And sometimes we see that the humanity in us comes out. We are all there to help people. A lot of us want to offer help. Maybe physically we may not be able to go to the location, but we at least see, is there some contribution that I can do? Is there something that I can share? During the COVID time, a lot of people would have done some initiatives to help people, right? So whatever help that is possible at such times during distress, it comes out that we really want to help, right? And of course, a lot of our soldiers come in to help us. And we feel a lot for our soldiers when we look at an event that happened where it says, so many soldiers died, so many soldiers died. Suddenly from nowhere, that Indianism comes up for us and says, oh shit, why did this happen? Who led it to this? I need to do something. I need to change this. But then when you look at the sequence of all of this, my friends, this is an alarm. Look at it. The numbers that I'm sharing here is the happiness ranking of India. I get very emotional when I talk about this. In 2015, we were at a ranking of 117. And then next year we dropped 118. Next year we dropped 122, 133, 140, and this year 144. This was even pre-COVID. Every year our happiness index is going down and down and down and down and down. 2020, our happiness index ranking is at 144. And this is, you will be surprised with the number of countries across which this was done. This survey was done by UN World Happiness. You see that as a heading there, right? Just with about 156 people. I don't know if that number is here. Yeah, you see that 156 nations. When a survey was done for 156 nations and we are at 144, that's a big alarm for me. That's a big alarm. I feel when somebody says, we need to do a motivation, I say, fuck off. Motivation doesn't last. That is the problem with a lot of us. We look at one session, we look at a video and we feel, oh, I'm motivated. Motivation doesn't last long. I said this even in a lot of my seminars, in a lot of my webinars, in a lot of my conversations. I keep saying this: motivation doesn't last. Motivation is like taking bath. You need to keep taking it every day. Sometimes you attend a motivational session, you are super motivated. That lasts for a week, sometimes 3 days, sometimes the same day, and sometimes just after the session it dies. But motivation cannot take you far. Inspiration can. What is it that can inspire you, that can put a goal? I spoke about creating a compelling future. Now, a compelling future that I am looking to create is here. Look at this sad state of affairs. I mean, 4.77 to 3.57 is points that we've got on a scale of 0 to 10. It's even so shameful to talk about it. But can we just keep talking about it and feel bad about it? Yeah, we can. What is going to change? Nothing. Look at the belief cycle. Now, if I take this example to the belief cycle, we are going on the opposite side. India. People will give examples. We are a highly populated country. We have a lot of corruption. We have politicians. We have that. We have this. Everywhere people are after money. There is nobody who wants to serve. There are only a handful of people who want to serve. All bullshit. The problem is the belief cycle, the success cycle that we've shared. And like I said, friends, I become very emotional when I talk about this. It directly strikes me here. Pardon me for any offensive language that I've used. So what is it that we can do? First thing is, nothing is worth it if you aren't happy. No matter you've accumulated crores of wealth, no matter you have what not, nothing is worth it if you aren't happy. Taking care of yourself is an essential part of taking care of others. The healthier the tree, the better the fruit is, right? The more healthier you can be, the more help and more service you can do to the society. So always take care of yourself first, and then do all that you want to do for the society. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So first take care of yourself. So my purpose, what inspires me is this: build a happier India. I'm on a mission 100. I'm on a mission 100. This is my purpose. I want to build a happier India. 144 to 100. That's my first goal. And come what may, I will do that. The thing is, can I do it? It's not about I, it is about we. And that's where today I invite all of you to be a part of this mission. In some way or the other, we will cross roads, we will meet, and we will be able to contribute. But somewhere we need to be in touch. We need to engage ourselves together to build a happy India, so that the future generations look at what is prosperity. It should not be reserved for a few. It is not just reserved for a few who say, this is for the wealthy class, this is for the cream of the society. No, I'm not saying everybody will become crorepati's. No, that's not what I mean. I'm saying everybody deserves to be happy wherever they are. Don't mistake wealth and richness to happiness. No, people can be happy with whatever they have. We've seen kids who are, on the street. Sometimes they are so happy with a small stick. Sometimes there are kids who have the most costliest of toys they are not happy with, right? I have a younger son who's a year and a half, not even a year and a half. And this guy is very happy, playing with what? A spoon, a cup. So kitchen is his favorite toy showroom. No matter how many toys I've got for him, he probably doesn't even look at it. For him, a spoon and a cup and hitting it. That's his best toy, right? So we can find happiness and wherever we are. So I invite all of you to be a part of this mission. How do we be a part of this mission? We all can be together connected. I want to keep communicating with all of you. It may at certain point of time become humanly impossible to build a community which is following this mission to build a happy India, the Mission 100 mission, right? So here are some of my contacts. You may take note of this. I have a Facebook page. That's a Facebook page. You can connect to me on my Facebook page, please, because my Facebook, I don't accept requests. On my Facebook page, please do connect. You have my YouTube channel link given here. So please do subscribe if you like to be a part of this mission. And there is no mandatory, it's not business. I'm not saying you come and be a part of this YouTube community so I can build a happier India. Only if you think you are inspired by this, if you think there is a communication we can keep, please do go on and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will also find, even without the mission, if you go and subscribe, you will still find a lot of other videos there which you will find useful. My email ID is there, my Instagram handle is there, and my website is also there, right? So with that, I sincerely thank you all for taking your time, and I look forward to working with all of you in building a healthy and super India.